Mm-mm. We live now, man.
Stream is live. Let's go.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, um, I was just telling you when we were on Zoom. It's always best to, in my opinion, when you have an idea, jump right in and do it. As
Hmm.
opposed to one of those, you know, I want to or I'm going to. The question is, why aren't you doing it right now? You know,
Yes.
right? We were just on Zoom because we do this. What is it? Every third. What is it? Every third. What is this? Wednesday? Every third Wednesday of the month for the Poetry Business Network, and we were on Zoom, and it's just you and I, right? And I told you that I wanted to start streaming live and having these poetry business conversations. And so then I was like, why am I saying I'm going to or I want to? Why wouldn't we just do it now,
Hmm.
right? And so here we are. So whoever's watching said, write it down and analyze it. I see you. I see you, newbie Sonny. Yeah, it's just like it's one of those things. Why procrastinate? Why put it off till tomorrow? Where most times you won't even do it then the time that you said you would do it. You know what I
I
mean?
have
So
I have that same conversation with myself over and over, and now that I'm operating with this business mindset, it gets to the point where I get tired of having that conversation. I'm like, action is the best teacher, and so
right.
I might as well do it and fail, or do it and make something rather than just keep talking about it, not getting anywhere, just having conversations with myself.
Yeah. It happens to all of us, man. You know, I might be in a different position than you are, but I still give my excuses for why I can't do it right now. I got 3 kids, a wife, and you know, and maybe a dog in the future. You know what I mean? But there's always windows of time for you to get some things done,
Mhm.
right? And so I'm learning as I continue to advise people work within the windows of time, and stop giving yourself reasons to not do it right now. And so that's all this is. If you're watching this, that's all this is we were on Zoom and we're like, we're doing this anyway. Why not make this a live situation and add value to others, but also bring value to our brands? If you see, Sculpted Roses in the background, tell the folks what that is back there.
Sculpted Roses Company. That is my business, my LLC, where we focus on enhancing creative experiences, and poetry is one of the services I offer. But Sculpted Roses Company also operates under the umbrella of art and life coaching, and my signature service beyond or within my business is writing poems in the same way that a business would have a theme, mission statement. I create poetry for that brand in that form. So that's a little bit about what Sculpted Roses is about. And um, I envision the business from myself being a rose from the concrete, and that's where the logo comes from, and how we are all simply roses operating from the concrete walls of our lives and simply trying to bloom the best way we know how.
Right, right. So on Zoom tonight, asked my guy, I asked him, what's going on? And he said, man, a lot of good stuff is happening. People are booking me to perform. They're paying me to perform. And he said something that I didn't necessarily agree with. He said that, he wants to focus on writing his book, right? And so he was contemplating, putting a pause and a halt on the performances when people are or were interested in him, and even wanting to book him in August. And my pushback on that was, what's the demand for your book and what's the rush for your book, right? And if you have people that are in demand, or if you're in demand for your performances at the moment, where you're in a season where it's warm outside and there are events after events after events after events, why not continue building your brand as that performance poet, or as that poetry business that offers poetry as a service, right? Why turn that sign over that says open to now say closed so you can write a book in the summertime, right? So my example or analogy to it is, you kind of have to look at your business as or in seasons. You have to look at your business in seasons, not just doing stuff, right? So we're currently in the season where the weather is nice and people are outside, and that's where you need to be, because when the fall and the winter come, people are going to be inside, not going to as many events to where you would go to perform, right? So just like a squirrel is gathering their, acorns, their nuts, right, for the fall and winter, they're storing up. Why not continue to build the momentum and build the brand for when there aren't as many events and opportunities, and use that time where you still can slowly and gradually perform, bring in the money, but you have more time to write your book, and you can take your time, right? Because we're going to be in the house for however many months. What is it? September almost to, I don't know. I guess I'll say I'll give you October. Yeah, it might stay warm till October, right? October till, let's just say, February, March or so. So you got a solid 5 months to take your time and write your book, where people are already inside. But also, now that you have your time to take your time, you can also take your time and roll out the book for the spring, right? And that's the time where people are looking for things to do anyway. You now have an opportunity to give them something to do, like a book release, right? The weather's getting nice in the springtime. It's like, all right, where to cook out? Or where's the whatever, the open mic? Or I'm out now. All right, so give me an opportunity to come out. Give me a reason to come out in this nice weather. And now that you've kind of have an idea, now you can massage and puzzle piece your year now.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And so when you have it like that, when you set it up like that, you now see the year differently. You see what I'm saying? In the summer, I know what I need to be doing. I know where I need to be. In the fall, in the winter, I know I need to be working on these projects so I can roll them out and do some amazing things in the spring and summertime. And so you now have a strategy If it needs to be updated, if it needs to be enhanced, you can do that. But at the very least, you're not just doing things just to do things at a whim. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And when Christoph said that, it reminded me um, to continually be transforming my mindset from an individual to entity, like you say in the workbook and everything that we go over in the Poetry Business Network. And so reminding myself to have that shift and remember, hey, like you said, your poetry is a service that your business offers, and you are a business and you're that entity, and learning how to continually walk in that ownership and not where I was before.
You just said what's the key word that you just said? Starts with an O.
Ownership.
Ownership,
Mm.
right? It's that O word, that ownership, right? Where you see yourself, similar to like a music artist where you own your masters.
Hmm.
We're seeing the artists from years past till now trying to get their masters back, and they do all of this for years and they own nothing. They're
Yeah.
owned, right? But that behind you says that you own your intellectual property. I call it intellectual poetry. Your IP is still
Mm.
IP, you know, and I think a lot of times as poets, we tend to not see our poetry as property.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That has value. Like if you think of real estate, property has value, and so
Hmm.
does intellectual property. Has a lot of value. You know,
Yeah.
um, and that's why people often try to steal people's IP, people's intellectual property, and we have to stop giving away our intellectual property. But if we just see
Mm.
it as a quick poem that we wrote, then we won't
Yeah.
really see it as right. Yeah, I just wrote this, like, you know what I mean? But that poem that you wrote just a second ago, you don't know what somebody could do with it,
Hmm.
you know?
Changing lives, movie scripts, inspiration all over the place, advertising.
All over the place, man. But if you don't see it, that doesn't mean somebody else won't see it,
Hmm.
right? If you Google, I'm gonna do this real quick, and that's the one thing I like about this platform. I'm gonna share my screen real quick, just as an example. Um, Let me see. How can I do this? I know what I can do. All right. I'm gonna share my screen. Share screen. Where is an empty tab? Give me an empty tab real quick so I can. All right, new tab. All right, share. Can you see that?
Yes.
All right, sweet. Just want to make sure. All right, cool. So if I Google Nate, give me a subject matter.
Summer.
Summer
Summer.
poem. I got you. Summer poem, and then look at all of this that comes up in Google Images, right? If I did a Google search on summer poem, not the ones that you can purchase, but just randomly,
Mm.
you'll see a lot of poetry that has no byline. Like we just said, right?
Mm-hmm.
That quick little poem that I just wrote, and then you post it to your Instagram. Those become memes where it'll say uh unknown poet or unknown author.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of poetry just out here in the streets with no ownership. Look at this. There's amazing poetry just out here on the internet, no byline. And that's what happens when you throw up your poetry on social media without a care,
Mm-hmm.
right? And somebody saw the value in it. It's here on Reddit.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to kind of give that example of um it's unfortunate that we'll create something and not see the value in it, right? So but yeah, man, I think I'm gonna do this more often. You know, right now this is streaming on Facebook. It's also streaming on the YouTube channel, and this was just on a whim. This was again you and I on Zoom, and was like, why not? Let's throw it up on stream real quick and see, how it works out. And it'll the consistency or
Mm-hmm.
lack thereof will tell the story. But I didn't want to procrastinate. I wanted to just do it and see how it turned out. And here's the thing: what if what if this continued on and I had these conversations, with different poets? Doesn't matter what level of poetry they're at, right? In on their poetry journey. Um, but what if I was consistent and just did this on a regular basis, and this was on the YouTube channel, and now my channel's monetized because of my consistency, and the viewership started to grow, the momentum started to increase, and now I'm getting paid to sit here and talk poetry.
Yeah. That's how it works.
Yeah, man. So it's the question: is that something that I want? Is that something I can maintain and sustain? With a family and this, that, and the third, and trying to build a business. Um, but you got to ask yourself, what do you want? And sadly enough, if you ask the average person, what do you want? They won't be able to answer you,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so, but they will be able to complain,
Yeah.
right? So if you don't know what you want, you won't know how to go get what you don't know what you want. So you I think it's important for us to sit down and write it down. Like, what's an ideal lifestyle? I want to
Mm-hmm.
travel, I want to write and talk poetry. Okay, that's possible. And we just gave you a scenario or an example of how you can talk poetry,
Right.
and it's all for free. We didn't do anything, we didn't subscribe, we didn't download anything. All I did was send you a link.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are, both of us talking, and somebody will see the value in this conversation.
And it started
Somebody
with
will see the value.
mm-hmm.
Action, massive action, man, and discipline and consistency.
Yes.
That discipline piece is what will tell the story.
Hmm.
So, you know, and surrounding yourself with like-minded people that are also not procrastinating.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those two things are what I've been focusing on a lot more lately, and starting to get a little bit of a like-minded community here and there. No, in no rush to make it happen though. I want to make sure there's people who are genuine and purposeful and on the like you said, have the same mindset. And then also something I was journaling about earlier today is I'm in the season of precision over production and
Mm,
moving with more purpose and taking advantage of the time that I have, like you were talking about earlier, and still still meditating on the 80/20 principle, the book we went over. So yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. And what I'm trying to figure out and learn is how to manage the network and continue to give my attention to my clients.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Right now, I'm currently in a 6-week contract with a client where we've created a summer camp for that client organization.
mhm,
And that we're talking a summer camp that is from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. And so that's why I've been MIA and out of pocket, because you know we're not talking a mom and pop organization. We're talking about an NBA players foundation,
mhm,
that saw the value in the poet life to say, hey, we want this started last year, created a summer camp last summer, went well, called us again. This is year 2 for this summer camp. And, you know, when you do something amazing once, you either got to sustain that amazingness or ideally take it up higher. And so I'm doing my best to take it up higher and still multitask. And I am proud of the work that we've done. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna show the network a highlight of last year's summer camp, and
okay.
you'll see you you'll see the work that we put in, man. And it's just a matter of time for it to just take off. Where now creating summer camps, artistic summer camps, will be, or is now one of our services, right? And so now it is, we're in a position where we solve problems with creativity, not just poetry, just creative actions and creative engaging activities, so that, which means we've expanded
Yeah.
from from poetry to all things creativity,
Mhm.
right? So and I've always looked at the name The Poet Life as creativity life. Like poetry is an example of creativity,
Mhm.
right? At face value, oh, okay, they do poetry. Man, listen, we just did a 4-week poetry um workshop series at a school in DC where the first day it's once a week for 4 weeks. First day we wrote poetry. Second day, well, the second week I'll say, we created beats. Third week or third day, we put the lyrics to the beat to make a song. Then the fourth day or the fourth week, we shot the music video.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And the school is just overjoyed now to where the song is about to be their anthem for their school. It's about to be a school song now.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Still poetry, but we just showed them all of what they could do with the poetry. Because who's to say that one of the classmates or one of the students doesn't stick with poetry, or the other one doesn't stick with making beats, or the other one doesn't make the song, or the other one doesn't shoot music videos.
Exactly.
I told them every step of this process is a new skill. You can take any one step of this process and take it serious, and now that's a whole career where you make beats, or where you shoot music videos, or where you write songs, or you just write poetry.
100%. And that's what I like so much and attracted me a lot to the Poetry Business Network. It helped me see the different levels and in poetry, and to take it outside of the box that people have it in, and see it for what it is, the creative process and the inspiration to so many different things that you can do. And it's not just words someone wrote down. It's many different things. And
Yeah. I've always asked the question, who created this box that we got to think outside of? You know what I mean? Like if you really think about it, there is no box. It's just a saying that somebody made up.
Right.
So for me, I think as if there is no box, and I just go. And so when you've been conditioned or brainwashed to think that there is a box, now you have to think of how to think outside the box.
Creating more steps.
You've created more steps when you can simply believe that there is no box to think outside of. Right? Like people are literally thinking, how can we think outside the box? And they spend time thinking about the box and how you can think outside of it.
Spend time thinking about something that doesn't exist.
Yeah. So, you know, when you now know that there is no box, it's like, oh man, I could just do it now. And that's what we did. We were on Zoom. We were already talking. So why not have the conversation openly? Zoom was the box.
Yeah.
Zoom was the box. We were like, all right, cool. Let's step outside the box and let's have a conversation that is not only benefiting us, but it could quite possibly benefit somebody else as well. I mean, we got 2 people watching right now. Do me a favor, whoever's watching on YouTube, looks like, drop in the comments. Do you believe that there's a box to think outside of? And have you figured out how to think outside that box? Or do you believe that you can just think about a thing and start doing it? I want to see if somebody comments. We're just gonna do a quick test real quick. I'm not gonna hold you long, man. So that August opportunity, tell me about it. Now that we've kind of rethought, you know, are you going to reach back out to them and see what that opportunity looks like?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna reach back out to them, get some more details, and like you said, see what that looks like, and assess if it's worth it. I now have a new baseline, and um, starting to uh, inform people of my business, the meaning behind it, and its worth.
Hmm.
And they can't see what it's worth if I don't promote, invest, or believe in that. And so, um, yeah, I'm definitely going to reach out and reassess, and then do the same thing for any other future opportunities, as well as reconnecting with people that I've already bumped past with this year at different shows and networking opportunities and such. So,
Nice, nice. Warm market, man. You don't have to
hmm
jump out there into the cold market where you don't know anybody. Reach out to the people you already know, the people who already know you, the people who already know what you do and how well you do it, right? And especially those who are event planners and project coordinators and directors, connect with them, shoot them an email, send them a text, call them, and put you back on their mind
yeah,
to where they're like, oh, man, you know what? I'm glad you called. We got a corporate event coming up that I think you'd be perfect for. We just had a meeting yesterday. We were trying to figure out how to spice it up, add some creativity to it. I think you'll be perfect for it. I'm glad I called too. You know what I mean? And ultimately, even if it doesn't create an opportunity at that time, but what it does do is further the relationship. It keeps you all connected.
hmm
And so the purpose of it all is to continue the conversations, um, keep the relationships strong, because when you're rich in relationships, the opportunities, they're going to come.
yeah. Business is having good relationships with others. If you aren't connecting with your counterparts and staying connected with people that you built relationships with, um, when that happens and you come back, circle back around, we call that fake. And no one likes when it's fake. And it's going to deter other businesses from the communication or relationship that you had established. And so, always checking in, like you said, reestablishing that relationship and communication and staying updated never hurts.
Yep, it always helps. Yeah, man. I appreciate the conversation, bro. I hope this conversation that we had, you know, added some value to you, and I'm glad you carved out some time to talk to me, man. And hopefully, whether it is two people that are currently watching right now, or even the people that watch in the future, man, um, that's what this is about. And you know, when they see that logo behind you, or even when they ever see this logo again, they'll be able to recognize it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. So y'all look out for Sculpted Roses Company. How long have you had that business, man? How long has it been? How many months?
It has been 7 months now. I got the LLC officially last December as a Christmas present to me. I took action. I had just joined the Poetry Business Network in November and was learning a lot. And I was like, you know what? I was having that conversation in my head, and I was like, I don't know. And I was like, you know what? We're gonna take some action. We're gonna
Love
do
it.
it. Have the instructions. Let's just do it.
Yeah, yeah. That's what it's about, man. So you've been a huge help in the network, and I'm gonna do my best to be more present, and manage clientele and the network, though the members in the network as well. Still just trying to figure that out, and but I'm excited for what's to come. There is still summer left, right? So leverage as much as you can this summer, because the fall and the winter is coming, and you want to make sure that you know use this summer to build your brand, build your momentum, and so when you do create your projects and write your books, you can go from demand for performances to demand for your projects and your books, and now you stay on a high, you stay on a high momentum, as opposed
Mm.
to letting the momentum die to where you have to then resurrect it. And that's a lot of energy, and that's a lot of time. Um, uh, it's less time, less energy when you keep it here. You know,
Yeah.
um, we have our year planned to where summertime it is because when you're working with businesses, you know their year is different. It's called a fiscal year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where their year ends, what is it, October, right? And then their new fiscal year starts in November, right? So even knowing that, that will tell you when you need to get your reach out emails out and start connecting with these businesses, because it's either they're running out of money or they just got a whole stash of money and ready to dish it out to
Mm-hmm.
artists and creative businesses, to get their events and their projects for the next year, right? So it's just learning the game, man. And you've been doing well, man. I'm proud of you, bro.
Thank you. Thank you. I really
Yeah,
appreciate that.
yeah,
Couldn't have
yeah.
done it without all the little notes and insight and wisdom of the Poetry Business Network and the community that's there. I've learned a lot, and it's been life changing.
Beautiful. Well, we're gonna keep this going, man. I'm gonna figure out how often I'll be doing this, but I will definitely be working within the windows of time, and making sure my clients feel like they're the number one clients on the roster. And I encourage you to do the same thing now that you know your baseline, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had that one opportunity that was this much, but then you had another opportunity was this much, and now your baseline is this much, and that's how you
Mm-hmm.
just keep on climbing, man. So let's go get it, bro. Get some rest, man. I got to be at camp tomorrow at 8 a.m. So we'll talk again, and we'll do this live situation once again. And I'll let you know how we do it. All right,
Yes, sir. Looking forward to it. Thank you so much for the conversation and the wisdom. Always appreciate it.
my man. We'll talk. All right, get some rest.
Have a good one.
All right.